Hey, morning everybody. I'm here somewhere on the New Jersey Turnpike. I wanted to tell a story. Kind of popped into my head in the shower last night. I wanted to tell a story about a time that a stranger showed me grace. Um, when I was when I was 17 years old in 2021. This was September 2021. I was 17 years old. Now let me set the scene for you. I was just coming off of maybe the most harrowing, terrible time of my life, more or less. At the end of the summer in 2021, things were not going all that well for me. I had suffered a truly stunning amount of loss over the summer of 2021. Kind of chiefly and principally, my grandfather had been dying of terminal lung cancer from being a cigarette smoker for a couple years, and he died at the end of the summer. He died on September 2nd, 2021, at the age he had just turned 73. My cousin, who I was very close with, unexpectedly died by suicide just maybe 2.5, 3 weeks before my grandfather died. And I had another friend who was also just 17 years old, died in a car accident, unexpectedly, just died in a car accident. I remember I was at work one day, I was on my lunch break, and I saw on like somebody's like Snapchat story or something, and I was using Snapchat, I was still in high school. But anyway, and also, so when my friend died, I went to my girlfriend's house at the time because I was sad, so I wanted to see somebody. So I went to see my girlfriend that night, and her and I had been together about 1.5 years. And I was so in love with this girl. Her and I were like so in love with each other. And I went and I spent the evening with her at her house, and it was good to be in her company. And she lived maybe about an hour drive away from me. She lived kind of far. And I was standing on her lawn at the end of the night, hugging and kissing her goodbye. And I kiss her goodbye. I turn around to get in my car, go take the hour drive home. It's late, I'm a little tired, and I've just had a long week with my friend dying. And as I turn around, she calls my name, and and the way she said it, I think she's gonna say, "Hey, I love you. I'll see you later," right? And it's we're open with that kind of language at that point for a very long time. So, it wasn't like this dramatic thing of her saying "I love you" for the first time or anything, but just like I just thought she was gonna say, "Hey, come back over here, give me another kiss." And she calls my name, and I turn around, and I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And she's like, "I have to break up with you." I'm like, "What?" Completely out of nowhere. Shocking, completely out of nowhere. And my friend had died less than 24 hours ago, So it was like I felt like I got shot in the heart, man. Totally broke my heart. I mean, I was so in love with this girl. Totally heartbroken. And and the reason she broke up with she was going away to college, and she was in this hole in the ground town in South Jersey, and she was just moving on with her life. That was all. But she couldn't do it anymore. She had to move on. So anyway, so let's recap. 2021 summer. I know it's been 5 minutes already, but I really got to paint a picture here. So my friend dies. By the way, I'm 17. I'm 17 when all this is happening. My friend tragically dies in a car accident. My girlfriend breaks up with me 24 hours later, if even, when I go to see her because I'm sad that my friend has died. Then my cousin jumps off a parking garage and kills himself unexpectedly. And, God, that's a whole other story. And then a couple weeks later, my grandfather, who we'd been watching slowly wither away, finally dies, horribly from lung cancer, that had metastasized to his brain. So it was just horrible. If you've ever watched anybody die of lung cancer or just really any type of cancer, it's just horrible. It's fucking horrible. So anyway, by September 2nd, when my grandfather dies, I think it's, it stops pouring, but I'm left with all these flood waters around me. And I'm kind of wading through this mess, just basically a broken person trying to cope with all this loss. And, I remember, so this story is about somebody, a stranger who showed me grace. So I'm driving to school. I'm driving home from school one day in late September, just a couple weeks after my grandfather's died. I had a considerable commute to school, nothing crazy, about 40 minutes. I was leaving school, and I am in my car, and I'm at a stop sign, and the guy in front of me is going, and I see that he goes, and so I just let off my brake, and all of a sudden, bam, I whack right into the back of him. So I saw that he went. He did not go. That's what I saw. That's not what happened in reality. I was so stressed out. I was so sleep deprived. I think I was off and on some medications were getting prescribed to me. I was so just broken. I really thought I saw this dude go. I think what happened is I saw him go, and then I turned left to look for the oncoming traffic to turn right. And he hit his brakes at the last second. So I roll into the back of this guy, I don't know, can't be any more than 5 miles per hour. I haven't even hit my accelerator. All I did is just take my foot off the brake. And I hit him, and I don't even think I have a reaction. I'm just I don't want to say I don't care. It's obviously I feel horrible that I've just hit this guy, but it doesn't even matter. I'm just I can't even, there's nothing left for me to feel. And, so I get out of my car, guy gets out of his car, middle-aged, professional guy, and he says to me, he's like, oh, and he's not yelling at me or anything. He's annoyed, but he sees I'm young. And he says, oh man, what happened? You just, you were off. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I thought you went. I just took my foot off the brake. I really thought you went, and that was it. And we're looking at the cars, and there's next to no damage, if any damage. And he's like, all right, well, he's like, I'm in a work vehicle. So he's like, I gotta report this. And I'm like, okay. And so I don't think he's calling the police or anything. He's in a hurry, he didn't have time for that. And so, I go to reach into my pocket to pull out my ID and stuff, and I don't have it. My wallet was at home. That is, extremely unlike me. Maybe done that twice since I started driving, 5 years ago. I never do that. And the one day I roll into the back of someone's car, I don't have my wallet on me. And I'm like, I'm like, sir, I'm so sorry. I'm like, this is very unlikely. I'm like, I don't have my wallet on me. I'm like, I promise you I'm licensed, I'm insured, the car's registered, but like I don't have anything for you. You're just gonna have to take my word, man. And he's like, oh man. He's like, really? I'm like, really? And I promise. And he's like, I don't have time for this. But he's like not getting mad at me. He's just like inconvenienced. He's not particularly upset or anything, you know. He must have been a father, you know. And he takes my information. I'm like, look, here's my number, here's my name, here's my address. You know, he writes it all down real quick. He drives away. He's like, all right, we'll be in touch. I go home. I tell my mom. She's like, you know, that sucks. Not a big deal. Never heard from him. That was it. Never heard from him. Realistically, what would have happened? I don't know. I don't think anything could have happened from that. What probably happened is he just, you know, he probably took a rag and like wiped the scuff off the back of the car. But, you know, I like to think, you know, he was graceful to me, you know. I don't know. I don't know how I looked. I don't know how I was presenting, but I like to think that any reasonable person could have taken a good look at me, or even a half-assed look at me, and seen that I was not doing too well. And had I been in a better state of mind, I never would have rolled into the back of this guy, you know. But you know, I don't know. I don't really know. He showed me some grace, and I'm really thankful for that, because I was broken, man. I was literally not working right. I could not take anymore. I like the added stress of that, you know, of there being consequences to that would have, I don't know. I would have gone with it. So I don't know. I hadn't thought about that guy in a long time. I basically never thought about that after that happened, because I just didn't have, I didn't care, you know, not to sound like a brat or anything, but I just forgot about it, you know. I moved on. And, but yesterday I thought about it, and I'm glad I did, and I hope that guy's doing well, and I'm glad that he just looked at things, and he was graceful. Just moved on instead of, because he could have easily made a big deal about it, you know, but he didn't. So God bless that man. God bless you. You never know what someone's going through, you know. So that's all. Take it easy, everybody.